Hello, it's me, Brian. Good morning. Today I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about something that's pretty important in my life. Alright. Most of you know Anonymous. A lot of you do, right? And there's some of you people that has actually met him, Anonymous. He's a good guy, right? And you all know that Anonymous is out and out dedicated vegan. Right? Has been most of his life. Right? I mean, he's been pretty militant about it sometimes. If you go check out his channel, I'm saying you'll see what I mean, right? Right? Probably I've known him, and I've known him for going on 10 years now. Right? He's a good kid. He really is. He's smart. Right? He's dedicated. Right? He's highly motivated. Right? And probably since the whole time that I've known him, he has pounded away at me and pounded away and pounded away at me to at least be a plant-based eater, right? I mean, for the most part of my life, for like since I was about 40 or so, and I have been primarily a vegetarian, right? I like eggs and cheese and just like everybody else, I enjoy bacon sometimes, right? But mostly for like about the last 10 years or so, right, I have been, a plant-based eater. I mean, when I was in prison this last time, I was on the vegetarian diet because I have a food allergy. I'm allergic to the steroids that they feed the chickens and the turkeys and the game hens and all the processed poultry, all of it, every bit of it. I'm not the only one. Believe it or not, there's 28 million Americans, and dogs are absolutely deathly allergic to processed poultry. And worldwide, this allergy is like about 100 million people. Right? What happens is that severe anaphylactic shock. So my throat constricts, my blood pressure drops to the floor, my heart rate slows way down, right? And I go into deep anaphylactic shock. I mean, I have woken up 3 times during the course of since I was 9 years old, during the course of my lifetime with a 3cc adrenaline needle stuck quivering in my chest, and like, oh wow, you know what I'm saying? Right, so I don't necessarily, I've never, for like 52 years, I've never eaten any processed poultry. I mean, except for, a few years back, 4 or 5 years ago, right, when I was still with Margaret, me and Margaret were still together, and, we've been Anonymous, we were business partners doing a lot of affiliate marketing and internet stuff. Right. I told this to Anonymous, and he's like, no way. And I'm like, yes way. And he's like, well, and so, a couple of days went by, and he, did his thing. He searched around the internet and looked it all up and checked it all out. And he discovered that Costco, right, sells organically, raised, farm-raised chicken. No rooster booster, no hormones, no, processed fucking, feed or none of that stuff. And they were pure organic. So he asked me today, so what do you think? You want to give it a try, or what? Margaret was like looking at me because Margaret's like one of her specialties was, chicken, right? And if you guys look at, the playlist, Cooking in Base Kitchen, you'll discover that she was a very good cook off the cuff, She she banged. Yeah, Emerald and Bobby Flay, and they're worried about Margaret. But anyway, so, she was all gung ho for it. So we all, went up to Costco and, bought a package of the drumsticks and the chicken wings, and came back to the house, and Margaret did her thing, fried them all up, made buffalo wings, right, super extreme Dave sauce, the whole bit, and popped the top on a few brewskis, and Sam munched it down, had a blast, made a bunch of videos, laughed about it, right, but the experience was not that enjoyable for me. I mean, the meat was stringy and weird and had this weird texture, right? And I just wasn't used to it. And after like about an hour after eating all this stuff, I had this weird feeling. I was all dopey from the tryptophan from the, and the animal meat, my body trying to digest something new that had for years and years and years. And I just truly did not enjoy the experience. right? So, and, right. But that was just the capper on the whole thing, right? And then when I was in prison this last time, 16 months, right? They put me on the vegetarian diet. I mean, I could have gone the vegan diet, but I chose because I still like eggs. And the weird thing about it is when the chickens that they feed the rooster booster to, right? They're not the egg producers because the steroids messes up the shell of the egg and they can't. So the chickens that produce the eggs, right, get fed. They're organic, right? So I don't know. See, that's how bad that stuff is. But anyways, and so. And the reason I put myself on the vegetarian diet was twofold. I mean, like 90% of the food that they feed you in prison, right, is chicken based, right? And it's the chicken that's not fit for human consumption. It's the stuff that they grind up and put into the pig feed and the dog chow, puppy chow, deer chow, kitty chow. And that's right, so it's not really good for you anyway. I mean, if I was to explain to you how they get it and mechanically separated, you'd be grossed out. But anyways, and then and as you can see, saying remember I'm 61 years old and I'm in relative good shape. Right. The reason for this has been proven, by and there's a documentary you can watch. That's got based in science. And there's testimonials by a lot of famous people, Arnold Schwarzenegger, a lot of the kid that beat up what's his name, right, in the UFCs, right, a lot of world famous people, football players, professional football players, Olympic bicyclists, swimmers, athletes of all different kinds and colors and generations, men and women, right, that have proven the science of veganism, right, or a plant-based diet, right. The reason I do it is because I have a couple of chronic medical conditions that I've been diagnosed with for since I was like in my 40s again, right. And one is BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia, which is the swelling of the prostate gland. I take medication to control this. I have taken it for like over 12 years. The other is I have high cholesterol, too many triglycerides, too much good cholesterol, right? And I take some simvastatin, right, to control that. Well, I discovered, right, when me and Anonymous were on the bike tour, right, and I didn't have the medication on a regular basis, that the diet that we were eating, the vegan diet, plant-based, right, was actually controlling these two medical conditions, right, without the medication. I've been taking the medication for the last 16 months since I was in prison, the wrong one. Dr. Hammond put me back on the right one since I've been out these last 3 weeks, and my body's readjusting to it, but I want to go back to not using the medication, right? I know for a fact that I can control these conditions, right, with a plant-based diet. I've had my own proof for it. Well, now, here, let's get back to this documentary. All right, the name of it is The Game Changers, right? It was produced by Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger, and we all know who he is, and Mr. Jackie Chan, and we know who he is, right? And Arnold even has this part in it where he talks about why he turned vegan and what the benefits were to him and why. And there's science in this whole thing, and all of these athletes have proven this out, right? You guys should look it up. They're game changers, right? Right, and I encourage you to do the research, to look into this, right? If you're chronically overweight, right, if you have low energy levels, if your cognitive powers are getting dimmer and dimmer, right? If you don't spend, if you don't go outside and get some vitamin D from, the sun and be active because you don't feel up to it, it's because mostly you're eating meat. It's the meat in your body. The protein chain is just all wrong for us. We're not designed to eat meat. You know what I'm saying? It's in the archaeology records are starting to prove this. Mainstream bullshit is mainstream bullshit. right? They just, you know, back in the 1800s and shit, when they didn't know and they couldn't figure it out, they just made stuff up, right? And then, you know, over the years, it became, you know, oh, this is real. And now we have the technology, now we have the science, now we can prove, right, or disprove anything because of the archaeological record, right? And we humans, throughout our history, have primarily been plant-based eaters. This is a fact, right? I mean, since I've been out these 21 days, I have eaten mostly, you know, vegan, plant-based. I've only had, like, you know, a number 7 ultimate bacon cheeseburger from Jack in the Box once, and it made me puke, right? I don't drink milk. Milk is bad. I mean, I prefer almond milk, right? I mostly drink coffee. I'm a coffeeaholic. You guys know this, right? And my energy levels are high. I work out every day. I lift weights, right? I ride, now that I got my bicycle. Yesterday, a brand new, first day I ever got this bike, 10 minutes after I had this bicycle, we took off on a 22-mile trip to go all the way over to get me a bike lock and back. And Sam rode all around, right? And yeah, I worked out when I was in prison. I knew this was going to happen when I got out, right? So I prepared myself. Right? I did millions of squats. I did millions of push-ups. I did, and look, like I said, I'm 61. Right? See, I'm living proof of my own bullshit. Right? So, the reason I'm making this video is because, right, a lot of you have noticed, right, and especially the vegan ones, right, vegan people, go vegan, right, that we have been doing a lot of vegan-oriented stuff. Right, we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep slanting this. All of the food, all of the cooking, most of the cooking stuff, everything is going to be slanted towards this type of lifestyle. Right? I'm not pushing my bullshit on anybody. I mean, you guys can do whatever you want to do. Right? I mean, this, you know, that's the kind of, most of you that know me know that that's the kind of person I am. All I ask is that if you believe in something, or if you're going to do something, you do it with all of this. Right? You know, dedicate your life to it, because if you don't, it's not going to work for you. You're just bullshitting yourself. Right? But we're going to angle towards this, right? Because I believe in my heart that this is good for all of us. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the food reviews, a lot of the cooking stuff and everything is going to be slanted towards plant-based. Right? With the cravat that, you can throw bacon in this, you can throw hamburger in this, you can cook this with a steak, you can do, right, pork loins, medallions in this instead of, right, chickpea fucking veggie patties. Yes, I will, and nothing's going to change. You're still going to do all of the other stuff, bike of the day, blogging with the old homeless guy, the same reviews, right, weird, cool stuff, airplanes in the sky. Nothing's going to change. It's just that I'm going to go this way, right, and I encourage everybody to look into it. You know what I'm saying? Right, so this is important to me, right, and what's important to me, I believe everybody should know about, because that's what my whole channel idea is about. It's about the things that interest me in my everyday life. So, please, right, if you're a new viewer, right, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? If you're an old viewer, and some of you have been around for years, give us the thumb, make a comment, right? I'm not afraid to respond. I mean, it's a personal rule of mine. You make a comment, I respond. I don't care if you're a hater or not. I'm not afraid of any of you, right? Right? I have the knowledge. I have the experience, right? So, right? This is me, Brian.